I think this is going to work really good. Welcome back to the Sawmill, friends. Wood-Mizer was here 2 days ago and we set up the new conveyor. And let me show you guys how that went. And while you guys are checking that out, I'm gonna head across town to pick up some metal so we can make this conveyor even better. You guys hang in there and I'll see you back in just a minute. So this is Colin from Wood-Mizer, and guys, this is the new conveyor. And I'll tell you what, I am tickled to death today. Been looking forward to this for a long time. Looks like we got 3 sections, not counting the incline right here at the end. It's about 40 feet long, and it's going to put us really close to the wall back there, but that's okay. Shared experience there. Deal with it later on. Now those rollers on the bottom, you going above them?
Yep.
Okay, you go above them. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
They kind of help hold it up off the ground.
Oh, you'd have to have those, or it'd just ride on the ground, I guess.
Yep.
So on the back, you're adjusting the tension, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, we're back down here at the sawmill, and I tell you what, it's going to be a hot one today. It's supposed to be 94 degrees. May have to get the Milwaukee fan out to cool us off just a little bit. So real fast, a big thank you to Colin Campbell up at Wood-Mizer for bringing this conveyor down to me, and also for delivering a new roller table that we ordered. I'll show that to you guys here in just a minute. But before we do that, let me go over the conveyor with you, and also this metal that we just brought in here and what we're going to do with it. All right, friends, here's the conveyor. And I'll tell you what, guys, I am tickled to death to have this installed. No more shoveling sawdust here at the sawmill. This is gonna be really nice to have. Got some sawdust right here in the back of it because the sawmill was setting right here, so I had some sawdust built up over here, got some more over there to bring over. And I'll tell you what, guys, this thing works really good. It's 40 feet long, and that includes the incline down there at the end. Now, if you order one of these from Wood-Mizer, you can get it at a different length. I think you can get it in 5-foot increments, but don't quote me on that. But if you do quote me on that, nothing's going to happen. I like meaningless threats here at the sawmill. But you can get 30 feet, I believe, or 20 feet. Like I said, this one's 40. And you could probably go longer than that, but I'm not sure about that either. You have to ask Colin about it. And if you're interested in these conveyors for your sawmill, give Colin an email up at Wood-Mizer. I'll put his email address down in the video description. He's the guy that pretty much handles these, from what I understand, up there at Wood-Mizer. The belt is about 16 inches wide. I think the clearance is about maybe 5 or 6 inches right there on the ground. And this isn't level at all. This gravel pad right here is anything but level. And this sits on here just fine. We had to shim 1 foot, I believe, and the rest of it's sitting here just fine. Really easy to install. This took us about 2 hours. Not too bad at all. Of course, down here is the incline where it goes up. And right now, I got mine going into this log dump trailer, but that's filling up pretty fast. I'll probably end up getting me like a hopper with a skid steer attachment on the front of it. Maybe a 2 or 3 yard one, and set it right here for 2 reasons. You can dump it a lot easier, and you can also put more in it. And real fast here, guys, I'm sure you're wondering what these things cost. Now, the price varies on how long you get, but I think they start at around $6,500 and maybe up to $8,500, something like that. But don't quote me on it. If you really want to get a quote on one of these, email Colin. Email's in the video description. Now, as far as the motor goes, we got it wired up right now for 110, but you can also get these in 220 and 3-phase. And I don't have power down here at the sawmill yet, so I'm running it off a portable power unit. That's a Blue Eddy. It has no trouble powering this thing up. I think it's pulling like 1,300 watts or something like that. Maybe 1 or 2 horsepower. Not a real big motor, but you don't need a big motor for a conveyor like this. And I was surprised because Colin actually stood on it right down here at the flat part, and it moved him. And he's no small guy, so a pretty strong conveyor. It will have no trouble at all taking the sawdust out of here and getting rid of it. So real fast, guys, let's talk about modifications. Just about every machine here at my farm, with the exception of the excavator, has some kind of modification on it. Let me show you. So one example was the skid steer. Right there beside the seat, you guys can't see it, but I got some auxiliary power units wired up into that. That way I can charge up my phone and my cameras when I'm out here working during the day. And another mod is over here on the LT70, on these drag back fingers. I put these little feet on them right there. Robert Milton, to my knowledge, was the first person to do that, and I tell you what, that makes these work even better. Those are awesome. So the reason I showed you those 2 things is because equipment is always going to get modified and changed over, and the manufacturer just can't think of everything. That's just the way it is. So this conveyor is no different, and it works just fine, but let's say you got a 34-inch log on there. Right now I got the saw head as high as it would go from the bed rails. I think it's about 34.5 inches up, something like that. So if you got it that high in the air, which you wouldn't have it that high in the air for very long, you'd work that log down pretty fast. The sawdust chute goes up higher as well. And as you can see, if you're sawing something that tall, the sawdust will come out. Some of it will land on the conveyor, but maybe half of it will overshoot it and go over here. Now once you get down to whatever you're sawing, and you've got your 9-inch, your 12-inch cant or whatever, this sawdust chute is going to be way down here, and at that point, everything's going to be going on the conveyor. But when you're doing taller stuff, you need something back here on the conveyor to catch the sawdust to make sure it doesn't overshoot the conveyor, and more importantly, goes down here on the belt. Now, I didn't come up with this idea. I got this from another YouTube channel. I think it's called Drake's American Dream or something like that. I'll leave a link down below where he goes over the conveyors at both of his LT70 locations. I think he has 270s and maybe even an industrial Wood-Mizer. He's got a big setup. I think he's up in maybe Pennsylvania, but I could be wrong about that. But he does a lot of sawing, a lot more sawing than I do. And he's got 2 conveyors set up on 270s. And he has what I'm going to call backsplashes set up on both of them. So I got the idea from him, but I modified it just a little. So yesterday I went over to Hindered Metal, and that's a local fab shop that does metal work. And I told them what I had and what I was wanting to accomplish. And they came up with this, and I tell you what, guys, I think it's going to work really good. This is 36 inches long. It's got an offset bin in it right there. And my original plan was just to have this piece made right here and welded on the conveyor. And when I got over there, Nathan, who's the shop foreman, recommended putting some hangers on here so I could remove this if I want to. And that was a pretty good idea. It's something I didn't even think about. So this is set up in 8-foot increments. There's 2 of them, so we get 16 feet of backsplash. And I usually saw 10 or 12 foot stuff in 8 foot, so 16 is gonna be something I rarely do here. But I could go back and have another sheet made if I want to go even longer, but 16 should be fine. But this is 1/8 of an inch steel. This will sit right on the rails right here and still give clearance for the belt. And more importantly, this will ensure that the sawdust will hit this and fall down to the conveyor belt and not overshoot it. The only thing we need to do before we can put this on is paint it. This is bare metal. If I don't paint it, as soon as that wet sawdust starts hitting this, it'll rust up before the video ends. So anyways, having said all that, that conveyor is great. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna put this mod on it to make it even better. And I was talking to Colin about this up at Wood-Mizer, the guy that brought this down. You all saw him in the footage at the first of this video, and he told me he visits sawmills all over the country and he finds modifications like this all the time on equipment that makes it even better. It's just the way it is. They can't really plan for everybody's operation. There comes some sirens now. It never fails. I'll be trying to video and here comes some sirens. What is that? Fire truck. Hope everybody's okay. I tell you what, you never know nowadays. But anyways, he was telling me, you know, I go to all these sawmills, there's always something different that usually makes them better. And this right here will make this conveyor even better. And a big shout out to Drake's American Dream, and I hope I'm getting your channel name right. That's where I got this idea. And go check out his video. He does a real in-depth video that shows both of his conveyors. I'll leave a link down below. All right, guys, these are heavy. I bet these probably weigh 150, maybe 200 pounds. They're 8 feet long and 36 inches wide. And I need a way to kind of hang these up in the air to paint them better. I got that side done right there, but I need a way to hang these from a chain so I can paint both sides at the same time and also install them a whole lot easier. I've not touched this one yet. But I think what I need to do is find the center, drill me a little hole, put a shackle right there, and maybe use the mini skid steer to hang this up off the ground. Yep, that's what we need to do. Let's head up to the shop. And also, friends, I need some feedback here. I'm using a brand new microphone today. Right there it is. And hopefully the audio's better. The audio's been terrible on the past probably 6 or 8 videos. You guys haven't complained about it, but I sure have noticed, and it's drove me crazy when I edit them. So let me know today, guys, down in the video description, or not in the video description, my goodness, down in the comments, let me know how the audio is today. Hopefully it's a lot better. And why go up there to get my drill and some bits, if you guys don't care, look around and see if you can find a can of spray paint. I have 4 cans, and 2 of them have walked off this morning. I have no idea what's happened to them. Somebody in a previous video, when I was complaining about losing stuff, which happens daily, they said paint it orange. Everything down here is orange. That wouldn't help. That's one thing about making videos that is very aggravating. You'll film all day and try to tell a story and have some cool shots. Then you go edit the video and the audio is terrible. Terrible. It happens all the time, all the time. This microphone is supposed to fix that. Now, will it work? Who knows? Sure is a nice day today, but man, it's hot. Look at those blue skies up there. Minus the clouds, of course. my windshield's dirty. Let's go check out the chickens real fast. We had 2 of them die just the other day. Well, they can come out if they want to, but I don't blame them. They're staying in here where it's nice and cool. Hello, ladies. How we doing? I know it's hot. I know. You guys hanging out over there where it's cool, I don't blame you. We're down to 12 hens now. We lost 2 just the other day. And no, nothing killed them. And I didn't kill them. They actually died of old age. They were about 4 years old. And in my experiences with chickens, which is going on about 4 years now, when they start getting old and getting close to death, they get real slow, and then for about 2 or 3 days, they'll just lay down somewhere. The next thing you know, they're dead. It's the way it happens. I don't know what kills them. I guess that's their life expectancy. I don't know. Man, it's hot today. Did I mention that? In case you're wondering, the front of the chicken house is still not finished. I know, I need to get it done. Just one of those things. Too many irons in the fire. All right, grab some drill bits. There. Grab the fan because it is getting hot out there. Yep, got a battery. Grab a drill. That one needs a battery. And get some kind of hook or a shackle or something to put on that thing. That one's kind of big right there. I need a smaller one. Maybe just a bolt will work. Maybe a small hitch pin. That should work right there. Keyword is should. All right, friends, we got it on there. And I'll tell you what, drilling those holes and putting those hooks on it made that a whole lot easier. I'm not sure I could have got those on there by myself without somebody helping me out. And I just sent these pictures to Colin, the guy at Wood-Mizer that you all saw earlier in the video that sells these for them. And his first response was, they look great, we should be making that. So if you order one of these in the future, there's a pretty good chance Wood-Mizer may start building this for this conveyor. I think it's a great add-on to put with this thing. Now, a lot of people buy these conveyors for pallet disassembling and other uses where you wouldn't need this backsplash is what we're going to call it. But for a Wood-Mizer portable sawmill, I think you need it. And also, if you have a Wood-Mizer mill and you walk beside of it and you don't have a stationary control like I have, you could still use something like this. Let me show you. So the distance between the conveyor and the sawmill is about 30 inches. I'll measure and I'll put it right here because I can't measure holding this camera. But anyways, this is plenty of room to walk with your sawmill. And also I have a conveyor right here on the left side of you, and it's totally out of the way. So for you guys that have a sawmill that you walk with, this is another option for dust collection. I wasn't sure if there'd be enough room. And I'll tell you what, guys, there's plenty of room. And if you're stationary, you could even take that wheel off right there. That way when you walk past that, you'll have even more room. It may get kind of tight right there, but it's not too bad. And I forgot to mention it earlier, prices will vary. It depends on where you go. The steel, counting the welding, the fabrication, and the bending, and all that stuff, and steel isn't cheap nowadays. It was about $500 for both those pieces to have them bent and welded and cut to size. So add that into your conveyor price if you're thinking about buying one of these, and Wood-Mizer is not yet making these backsplashes, about $500. If you can do some welding and bending yourself, it'd be a whole lot cheaper, probably $250 or so. Looks pretty good. I ran out of spray paint. I'll have to come back out here tomorrow and finish that up. Now I do have these holes right here that we drilled so we can lift this up. I'll probably put some electrical tape over that for now. And here's something I didn't plan on doing, but it just happened. I got an overlap right there of about 1 inch. And I didn't plan on that happening. I tried to butt them together, but it slid over it. And I'll tell you what, guys, it worked just fine. But what I'll probably do tomorrow, I'll come down here and drill me a hole and bolt those two together right there. Some people would weld them, but the whole reason we got these hooks on here so we can take this off if we ever need to for cleaning or maybe putting this sawmill somewhere else, who knows. You can take these off and it makes this conveyor a little bit easier to move around. But that's something I'll do tomorrow. We'll bolt that together and there's our seam completely gone. Good deal. So let's go ahead now and cut the sawmill on. We'll raise this up to the mat's height, 34 inches, and make sure this hose right here is not taller than the backsplash. It should come in about 3 or 4 inches below it right there. All right now we're at 13 inches. 29 inches right there. 34 and almost 35, so that's the mat's height right there. If we got this just right, right there's the top of it where my arm is. The dust will come down, hit that, and fall down on the conveyor. I think it's going to work really good. Sorry if I'm yelling at you guys, I'm trying to get used to this new microphone. Okay, so we was at 34 and 15/16 on the height. I very rarely go that high with this sawmill. Very rarely, but if I ever have to, no problem with the dust collection. Guys, real fast, before I forget about it, I need to move this out of the way. This is our new roller table. Wood-Mizer builds these. They're about $1,400, $1,450 I believe. I ordered this just the other day when I heard Colin was coming down on the conveyor because I've been wanting one of these. I think it's about 8 foot long. I'll check that here in just a second. And this conveyor table, or roller table, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to use this in conjunction with the edger because I'm going to be bringing the edger over a lot closer to the sawmill. We'll do that in the next video. I'm not going to fool with it today. And I actually got this idea from another sawmill channel, and I'll talk about that in the next video. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll bring the edger over and get this table moved over there. And it does lower, it's at its max height right now. It needs to be lowered probably 10 inches or so. But we'll do that tomorrow. But right now, let's bring over a poplar cant that we're doing Wood-Mizer out of, and we'll put this conveyor to use. Because guys, I've not used it yet. I used it to move some sawdust over, but I've not used it with the sawmill just yet. I didn't want to try it out till we had that backsplash on there. I just remembered, I've also got to bring over the table that hooks to the sawmill. It goes right there. So let's move this roller table, bring that one over, and then we'll start sawing. All right, friends, it looks like we're gonna need a bigger hopper for the sawdust. I tell you what, this right here fills up pretty fast. And that's just what we saw today, and that was a pretty small cant right there. I mean, this thing works pretty good, but about a 2-yard hopper would work really good right here. I need to go ahead and order one and get one of those on the way. And as far as the conveyor goes, I like it. I tell you what, guys, this thing right here is nice. Really nice. I like it better than a blower. A blower works just fine, but it's got to go somewhere and it makes a mess. This stuff right here dumps over here in this little trailer. No mess at all. You don't see dust flying around or nothing like that. This is really nice, guys, really nice. And I think I may move the log splitter over here right beside of it. Let me show you. So over here on the other side of the conveyor is a part of the barn we're not using. It's about 12 feet wide and 40 feet long, not counting the lean-to. I'm thinking this right here would be a really good place to put the log splitter, put the IBC totes, and all the bark pieces that come off the splitter that don't go to the firewood pile I could throw on the conveyor and send over there to the sawdust chute. I think that would work really good. What do you guys think? Bring the log splitter over here, and this right here would be the area we'll do all the log splitting at. I think we might try that. Maybe in the next video or two we'll move this thing over here, or move the log splitter over here rather, and see how it goes. And also in the next video, we're going to be bringing the edger over a lot closer to the mill. You guys can see it way down there. I need to bring it over about 20 feet or so closer to the mill and set up that new roller table and get all that configured and get it going. I got to bring the log bunts back over here and also the 6x6s that sit right there at the end of that roller table. A lot of stuff left to do down here, but the biggest move was getting the sawmill put over here and the conveyor installed. And I tell you what, guys, I like it. This is going to be a great setup right here. All right, friends, I guess I'm done for the day. I'm going to head up to the house and see what's for dinner. I think we're having steaks tonight. And if that's the case, I better get that grill going. So in closing here, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in these conveyors, send Colin an email. It's down in the video description. You can reach out to him anytime if you got any questions about them. And once again, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you back here tomorrow. You guys hang in there.